More than 26 million Americans live with lung disease known as asthma. And May happens to be Asthma Awareness Month. Now, with all this COVID-19 going on right now, I know my wife has asthma. She's downstairs. She's worried about COVID-19. Everyone has it at top of mind. So, how do you live with asthma and how do you live your best life?
That's a great question, Sean. I know we are so aware of our lungs right now. Will Rucker is here. He is with the American Lung Association right here in Nevada. Welcome to the show, Will.
Thank you for having me.
Many of us have either someone in our family or a close friend with asthma. It's fairly common. But let's talk about how it affects people.
Yeah, asthma is fairly common. It affects children more than adults, but really all of us can be affected by it. And what it really is a constricting of the airways. So an asthmatic can live a relatively normal life in all other ways, but when high emotion is evoked or physical activity, sometimes those airways will constrict and it's like breathing through a small straw. So that's kind of how I explain asthma, but it is manageable.
How do you know if you have it? I mean, how can you, if you're not diagnosed, but you're just having a feeling that you have a little bit of a labored breath?
It's something that would need to be diagnosed by your physician,
Yeah.
but some symptoms are, of course, coughing, wheezing, difficulty breathing in general could signal that you are asthmatic.
Interesting. I'm so thrilled to have you on because the American Lung Association, they're so established in this country and they are really, the source to turn to for this information. I understand you have some tips right now for people who do have asthma. We're just going to break down some of your top tips.
Absolutely. So, right now, it's especially vital that those with any type of lung disease use extra caution. So, some things that we're recommending right now, since we're spending more time indoors, just make sure you've changed the filter on your air conditioning and heater unit. That's a big thing that often goes overlooked. They should be changed anywhere between every 30 to 90 days. You can always take a peek and see if it's dirty. If it's sooner, go ahead and change it. You can't change it too often, but that's a big one. Another thing that's important to
Mhm.
do is to make sure your house stays tidy. The dust and the debris and things that come in the home when you're there more often need to be taken care of. So wash your sheets every week in hot water, change your pillowcases regularly, clean under the cabinets because
Mm.
you never know what's lurking there,
Yeah.
and just make sure you vacuum regularly as well.
Yeah, no question about it. I'm looking at my air vents. I think it's time for me. It's been a minute.
Oh
It's
my
just
gosh.
you have
Do
to
you
get the
know,
step stool, and yeah, it's a big pain, but you got to do it
Bill
because you'll
and
breathe
I
easier.
Sorry, I was so excited, Sean, because Bill and I just changed ours. It was shocking. It was like, and it was just 4 months. Like we'd set an alert for ourselves. It was just coated on those ridges with dust
Yeah.
and hair and just
And all that
unbelievable.
particulate ends
Really
up
interesting.
in your lungs and in your throat, and that's not good. What about outside? I mean,
Right.
it's a little bit less easy, I'm assuming, to control what the air has outside. But what do you do to try to stem the tide there?
Of course. So you can't control what's happening outside, but you can control when you go outside. So just monitoring the alerts, we often provide alerts to let you know if it's a high particulate day or not. Stay inside as much as possible, but if you must go out, be sure to wear a face covering. And this is a good practice in general when you live in a dust bowl called the desert. It's
Yeah.
just a good practice so that you're not inhaling that. Stay away from large crowds right now. It's important that you stay as healthy as possible when you're outdoors.
Mm.
And here's another one that kind of crosses over, and it's perfumes and heavy scents. So when you've been outside and
Yeah.
the heat and all of that, you may not be as fresh as you want to be. So when you come in, don't go crazy with the cologne and the air fresheners or the scented candles. Just pure air is what's best.
I love this. Hey, Will, you know what kind of cologne my co-host uses? Sean, tell him.
Soap. I find soap works
Yeah.
best. Yeah.
That's perfect.
That's
That's the
fine.
exact one we
That'll do.
recommend.
Yes. So for those that are out there that are actually either locally or virtually that are dealing with asthma, how can they get the support that they need?
Lung.org/asthma. Tons and tons of great resources for free available night or day. Just log on to our website, lung.org/asthma, and you can actually sign up for a free training to monitor your asthma symptoms and create an asthma action plan. Of course, you've heard the saying, failing to plan is planning to fail. Having that plan in place is
Mm,
hugely important so you know what to do if you start experiencing symptoms. And we use a model like the traffic signal, red, yellow, green. If you're above 80%,
mm.
you're in the green, you're good to go. But when you start having those symptoms, coughing, wheezing, difficulty breathing, then you're moving into that yellow caution area. And you need to make sure you stay with your medications if they've been prescribed. And if you get to that red area, you do want to seek help.
No question
All
about it.
right. Thank you so much. I just want to say I know a lot of the events right now, the fundraising events in the Valley are going to be postponed. However, I will say one of the best events I went to last year was Scale the Strat, of course, with the American Lung Association. So I'm showing off my shirt because Will, I made it to the
Yay.
top.
Good for you. Congratulations on it. That's a big achievement. It's not easy.
I took the elevator. I
No,
found that
it
was a
was
lot
not easy.
faster. I'm sorry.
He's got a point.
It's true. Will, it's great talking to you. Thank you so much, my friend.
Likewise.
All right, listen, if you want to learn more, you go to lung.org/asthma, or you could call the number you see on your screen, 702-431-6333. And we thank Will for joining us today.